And again at it. Got the foul there going to be called on Bonds as he hit Darryl Freeman in the arm.
That's what Gannon needs. They need to get on the line and get a couple points. They've been struggling offensively here in about the last minute and a half, 2 minutes. They haven't really gotten a good shot at the bucket. And Coach Duquette likes to see them at the line because they got the clock stopped and they can get a couple points.
The team trainer coming out to take a look at Harold Ellis, and he's going to usher him off the court. I'll tell you one thing, tomorrow morning, Harold Ellis is going to wake up with a few bumps and bruises because he has really hit the deck hard tonight several times. He was in a lot of contact underneath with Mike Snyder very often and just dove for the ball there too.
Well, he plays real hard too. He goes to the offensive and defensive glass real hard. Anytime you do that, you're going to get hit by inadvertent elbows and everything. You get some fingers in your eyes and all kinds of good stuff like that.
Stuart Watkins checks in for Harold Ellis, and there you see Darryl Freeman at the line. The great junior for the Knights making the first shot.
Well, since both teams are in the bonus situation, it's going to come down to, we talked about defense earlier, who's going to play the better defense and who's going to make their foul shots. Because there is going to be a parade to the free throw line if the game stays as physical as it is.
Darryl Freeman was a high school all-city center in Dayton, Ohio. Second shot, no good. Freeman goes for it. Hits the table on the far side. Good hustle, but the Morehouse Tigers keep it. Out of bounds is David Dada over to Walker, James Walker. Very impressive player. They work it around.
In the man-to-man, and Callahan comes up with the big steal.
Here comes Callahan. He's going all the way in. Makes it.
Well, it's not very often you can be indecisive in basketball and still have something good happen. But that's what Callahan did there. He really didn't know if he was going to pass it or shoot it. And that should be Gannon ball.
Bad pass by Morehouse. Gannon's going to take it again. Boy, look at these towels waving here. They lead by 2.
Getting back to the point with Callahan, he really committed himself. But he's such a great athlete that he managed to go up with the flip and got the nice roll.
Chris Holland in the game now for Mike Crawford, and we've got a foul call. We've got another look at the last Gannon basket on the drive.
Watch Callahan now. He comes down and he's going to commit himself right here. He goes up in the air. He's looking. Who am I going to dish it to? Says, I can't dish it. Comes down with a little double pump. Flips it up with the right hand. He's got the nice English on it. Gets a nice bank and it goes in. That's a great athletic move by David Callahan. He doesn't get the credit he should get for being the athlete that he is.
Extra point is no good there. Driving is Walker. He goes all the way. Makes it. Well, what body control by James Walker. He wasn't to be denied there. He had a basket on his mind, and he went for it.
Yeah, he pushed it up the floor real quick, and might have got away with a little offensive foul. I think he fired an elbow in the direction of the Gannon defender.
Well, Ellis is back into the game now for Morehouse. Freeman has 3 fouls for the Knights. As to the line, we've got James Walker. Walker with 16 points already in this game. Tied up now at 58. He gives the Tigers a 1-point lead. This is back and forth, all these lead changes. It kind of makes you think already a little bit about a possible overtime. I don't know about you, Brian.
Well, that's a definite possibility with these two teams. Neither team seems like they're going to run away with this thing in the last 5.5 minutes.
Freeman spinning, driving, and he doesn't get that. I thought that was going to roll in. He didn't get it, though.
Well, Winfrey's really done a nice defensive job. I really didn't expect that. He's a freshman coming in, trying to guard a guy who's one of the better Division II offensive talents in the country, and the freshman Winfrey has really done a nice job.
I'm surprised at how quiet Art McAfee is on the bench for Morehouse. He lets his assistant coach do much of the instruction on this team.
And we noticed that, too, at the shoot-around. The assistant coach handling a lot of the chores. McAfee's been a long time. He's got his program instilled in here, and it's just really on cruise control, this whole program.
Snyder deflecting the shot by Walker. Callahan comes up with it. Throws a few elbows. Walker wanted to draw the foul, but it didn't work. Walker, frustrated, fouls Callahan. A break for the Knights as they trail by a point.
It becomes a break when you convert on the 1-and-1s. See, what Gannon's got to do, we talked about it, the free throw's got to go. They missed the 1-and-1 earlier. See, Callahan, he's trapped there by about 3 or 4 guys from Morehouse. trying to keep people off of him. Morehouse wanted to foul right there on Callahan. They didn't get it, and they did get the reach around.
Callahan makes the first shot, so he does take advantage in the 1-1 situation.
Good look there at David Callahan, the Irishman.
Boy, the Knights have been playing some tough defense here in the second half. Only 6 field goals for Morehouse State in the entire second half, Brian.
Yeah, they've taken them out of their running game. You really haven't seen Morehouse going up and down and getting a lot of fast break buckets. They like to run in that situation, but they will slow things down when they don't have the break.
The Knights enjoy a 1-point lead, 60-59. 4:30 left in the game. Walker, the shot and the foul. James Walker taking things onto his own hands here.
Well, we talked about it before the game. We thought Walker might be one of the keys. Everyone kept telling us about Ellis, but I sat down, took a look at the stats, and looked at the all-around game of Walker. This is the second time down the floor Walker's done this, and this time he goes through just about everybody on the Gannon. Nice crossover dribble against Callahan, goes through Andy Adams, goes by Chris Holland. Somebody gets him on the arm, and he'll try and complete the three-point play.
Well, the bad news there, Andy Adams, his 5th foul, he's out of the game. And Mike Crawford comes in to replace Adams, who's taking a seat on the bench. He's done for the night. We have a timeout, and Gannon trails by 1, 61-60. We'll be back.
Where do you go?
Back to the Springfield Civic Center, Springfield, Massachusetts, the quarterfinal game, the NCAA Nationals. 10 lead changes so far, Brian Duffy, in this ball game. The Knights now trailing by a single point. Can they do it?
Yeah, it's going to come down to a battle. We talked about it. Who plays better defense, who makes their free throws, and it's getting down now to the time in the basketball game where you start to look for your people offensively that you want to have the ball, and that's going to be Walker, the guy at the line for Morehouse, and Freeman for Gannon.
Walker completes the three-point play. He's got 20 on the night now, and a 2-point lead for the Tigers. I want to recognize Mickey Curtis, a former grad assistant at Edinburgh, working in sports information. He's now at Westfield State, nearby Springfield, helping us out with some of the stats tonight. Good to see Mickey once again. It's been a couple of years since we've seen him around. Stoppage in play, and the Knights are going to go to the line now. That went on David Dada. And we've got Mike Crawford going to the charity stripe. Crawford is a good foul shooter, around 75% from the line. 1-on-1 situation, makes the front end. Got to make those foul shots if you want to win.
Well, they're so important. You know, people, you talk about foul shots and you hear how important they are. It's this type of game, and it's really tough to go to the foul line in this type of situation. When you're playing in the national quarterfinals, it's a very important basketball game, and you're standing up there at the free throw line. It takes a lot of concentration to knock them down.
Tied up at 62. Gannon Knights against Morehouse College from Atlanta, Georgia. Walker now driving on Freeman, hits the foot of David Callahan. They'll keep the ball. If you're joining us late, the beginning of this game, Morehouse jumped out to an 18-0 advantage. The Knights appeared terribly flat, but they rebounded and cut the lead at halftime. And now they're right in this game. In fact, it's all tied up. Foul call on Callahan. That is his 4th. Well, they can't afford to lose him.
Well, what you really have to worry about is these guys are starting to get 3 or 4 fouls, and if it does develop into an overtime situation, a guy like Callahan goes out of the game, you're in a lot of trouble if you're Gannon.
Adams already is fouled out. Snyder has 4. Callahan has 4. Freeman has 3. Crawford has 2. So some serious foul trouble. Shot no good. Callahan gets the rebound. We've got 3:45 left in the game, and we're tied. Freeman passes it off. Nice pass to Snyder. Doesn't make the shot, though. Rebound by Dada. How quickly Walker. Nice pass over to Winfrey. He doesn't make it. And Ellis sends it home. Ellis with 8.
So what happened there, you had Callahan back on defense on the fast break, and Callahan realizing he's got 4 fouls, really, he can't be as aggressive as he'd like to be defensively, and it's going to be the situation for the last 3 minutes.
3-point attempt by Holland off the mark. He gets another chance. Callahan. Here's Crawford from three-point land. It's good! Oh, yeah. 1-point lead now. 65-64. 21 points for Mike Crawford.
Well, Gannon stays in the man-to-man. You'd think they might want to try and go to a zone and protect their players a little bit defensively, but then again, Morehouse had so much success against the Gannon zone, it's a tough call for Coach Duquette to make.
Walker's shot off the mark. Gannon can't control the rebound. Walker gets it back, loses the handle, and Holland comes up with it quickly down to Crawford. Up and in.
Big basket there by Gannon, and it was caused by the defensive pressure. We keep going back to that about these Gannon teams, and that's the key to this whole team.
Crawford with 23. He's 10 for 12 in the field goal category tonight. Simply unconscious.
Uh-oh. That is bad news.
Oh, boy. Callahan is out of the game. Very, very upset, David Callahan.
That's bad news, and on top of being bad news, it was a bad call.
Dave Callahan is out of the contest. He had 10 points all in the second half. The Gannon fans on their feet giving him a nice round of applause, and he deserves it. With 2:07 left in the game, the Knights now need to find a new floor general. Gerald Blanks checks in. He's a guy that can light it up.
Well, they won't look for Blanks for much offense. What he will do is apply the defensive pressure. Right now, the offense is going to fall into the hands of Crawford and Freeman.
Got a whistle here.
2 shots. They thought it was a 1-and-1. The players going to the boards after the miss, but it was a 2-shot foul.
Winfrey's at the line. The Knights lead it by 3. Still lead it by 3, and Blanks comes down with the rebound.
Those are 2 big missed free throws here. Gannon's going to spread this out a little bit. It's going to be tough to spread it out with Callahan, but they'll run some time off the clock and then try and get it to Freeman or Crawford and try and get a bucket. Gannon has got to play to win in the last minute 50. They cannot afford an overtime without Callahan.
Patient ball movement now, working some time off. Freeman, there goes Ellis again to the deck. Freeman pops. Oh my goodness, it doesn't go. Rattles around the rim. Out of bounds, the Knights are going to get it back.
A lot of bumping and grinding going, and the referees letting it go on.
We're going to see a timeout. And we've got it with the Knights leading by 3, 67-64. We've got an exciting one, and we'll be back. We're going to stay. We're staying here. That's right. Okay. A quick timeout there called by the Knights, and they lead it by 3, 1:32 left in the game.
Well, we've been talking about free throws and defense, and it has come down to free throws and defense.
If we got to win this one, it's smart play.
Coach Duquette's huddle here, he talks to the players, pointing to Chris Holland, giving him a few instructions. He's probably telling Chris Holland is look to get the ball to either Crawford or Freeman.
He's running around. Once you're at the high post, we're freezing the ball unless you got a layup. Now, we're going to have a lot of space. If nobody's open, you can use your dribble. Now, who's got the ball?
Okay, right now, we have no timeouts.
No timeout. Now, Mike, your guy hasn't made a shot.
Chance for you to ease off a little bit in the game.
He's driving. Don't steal.
As they're looking to advance to the semifinals tomorrow night. There you see some of the partisan fans from the Golden Knights who made the trip all the way up here to Springfield, Massachusetts to root on their team. Tomorrow night, the winner of this game will take on Cal State Bakersfield in the semifinals. That'll be an 8:30 tip-off. If Gannon does make it in, we'll have it for you with the pregame show at 8 o'clock and tip-off at 8:30.
What's important here is that there's 45 seconds left on the 45-second shot clock. So if Gannon can get it under a minute, down to about 50 seconds left to go in the game, what they need to do is come up with a good shot and run that shot clock down. And that's the guy they want to have the ball in his hands.
Gannon takes it over the line. They lose possession. Bob Duquette not happy to see that.
Blanks just couldn't get the handle of it. Tough situation. He played a little bit in the first half, hasn't played at all in the second half. He comes into the game after Callahan fouls out.
Stubbs in for Watkins in the Tiger lineup. As they look to get back into this, they trail by 3. Walker dishing it off to Stubbs. And then who's going to get the foul? It looks like Snyder.
Gannon's just not getting the calls here on the charge. We've talked about how tough it is to make that call, and it's gone against Gannon the last 2 charge calls.
This is Snyder's 5th foul also, Brian.
Snyder looks like he's got position to me. He's standing straight up and still, and that's a tough one to take, especially since he goes out of the game.
Minute 9 left in the game. Snyder fouls out. James Henderson checks in. Well, we've got some drama here as some of the regulars find themselves out of this game.
If one more guy fouls out, that's going to really spell trouble for Gannon, because then you're talking about putting some people in the game that haven't played at all this season, guys that really contributed in practice but really haven't gotten much game time. We're talking about guys like Greg Blair and Jim Toohey and Jim Roddy. Haven't seen really any game action, and if anybody else fouls out, they're going to be put into the fire.
From the foul line in the second half, Morehouse has had some problems. They're 11 of 18 from the charity stripe in the second half. Morehouse now with Walker at the line. Makes the second one. Well, they're doing pretty well now, trailing by a point. Gerald Blanks now.
It's imperative that Gannon gets a shot opportunity or a foul out of this possession.
Blanks takes it up, and he's fouled. They're going to call that one on Ellis.
The foul is called on Harold Ellis. That's his 4th person.
It's a tough spot for G. Blanks, a guy that they don't really count on a lot for offense. He's going to go to the free throw line, a place he really hasn't been all that often this season. He's only been there 18 times all year, 12 of 18 on the season, and these are 2 of the biggest free throws he's ever shot.
A minute showing on the clock. First one's good.
Well, he put it up there nice and soft, and anytime you get it up there soft, you have the chance to get the bounce. What you can't have is a hard shot where it hits the front of the rim or it hits the back of the rim on some type of line drive.
Blanks now, shot number 2. He concentrates on this one. He can give Gannon a 3-point lead, and he does.
Big free throws, big pressure free throws by G. Blanks.
Pressure time for Morehouse. Walker driving, shooting, and scoring. And a timeout quickly called by Coach Art McAfee.
Well, that's not what you want in that situation. With 1 minute to go, G. Blanks gets the 2 free throws and gives you the 3-point lead. In all of 9 seconds, it takes Walker to get down the floor and go to the bucket and get the 2 points and get the lead back down to 1. Gannon needed a big defensive stand on that possession and to make them run a little bit of the clock down and make them force up a bad shot.
Walker's been the scoring machine for Morehouse in this game. 24 points. And the story here, just simply a 1-point game with 51 seconds remaining. Can't ask for much more drama.
Well, Gannon will have the ball here, and just like the last possession, it's imperative something comes, at least an opportunity comes of the possession. What they can't afford to do is turn the ball over. They've got to bring it down. They've got a 1-point lead, work a little bit of the clock, get it to Freeman, or get it to Crawford, get Crawford an open jump shot, or get Freeman an avenue where he can create something, go to the bucket and get a bucket, or maybe get fouled.
Well, the Morehouse Tigers already out in the court. They are waiting patiently for Gannon to come out of the huddle. And here come the Knights. After talking things over with head coach Bob Duquette, they are ready to go.
Well, they're gonna pressure him. They know that their ball handler Callahan's out of the game, so Morehouse doing the smart thing, coming up with the full court pressure. Blanks breaks long, and that's the worst possible thing that could have possibly happened on that possession.
Morehouse with that tough full court pressure, man to man, and they get it back. Another chance to take the lead. 40 seconds left.
That's the guy they want to have it right there.
Walker pops from the baseline, makes the shot, and gets the foul. Oh, my goodness.
Well, Walker, he's a fabulous offensive player. G. Blanks did a nice job, stayed right with him, but Walker ends up with the short little jumper, and Blanks is there and gets the little touch foul.
Freeman now pretty much operating as the floor general out there as he goes over to talk to Billy Calbaugh. The assistant coach, Billy, of course, formerly at Mercyhurst College, joining the staff with Bob Duquette this year, has done a great job there. You see the brain trust for the Knights. They trail by a point. To the line, James Walker. Walker now with 27 in the game.
They got to get it to Freeman. They got to get the ball to Freeman and let him take charge of it. They're in a man-to-man so they can clear out and let Freeman bring the ball up. And Freeman's going to have to create something here.
25 seconds left. Shot clock is off. Crawford looking for the opening. Ellis guarding him tightly. Holland gets the ball. He shoots the long one. No good. Rebound. And the foul. Stuart Watkins poked in the eye.
Well, Gannon, that was a rough sequence for him offensively. They really couldn't get anything. And Holland, who's been struggling from outside, throws up the three. Holland, usually a good three-point shooter, lets this one go, but a little flat on the shot, hits the front of the rim, and Morehouse does a nice job on the offensive boards.
Shooting 1-on-1 now. It's Stuart Watkins. He's a 50% foul shooter. See what he does here. Vital shots. Makes the first one.
Well, that's the important one, but this is a crucial one, because if he makes this one, it's 4, and Gannon can't tie it with a 3, and they'll need 2 possessions in 10 seconds, and that's pretty much impossible.
Watkins. It's good, a 4-point lead. 10 seconds left. Up quickly. Here comes Freeman. Foul called away from the ball on Holland.
I don't really know what happened there. They called Chris Holland completely away from the ball with 10 seconds to go in the game. I'm not really sure what kind of call that is. It doesn't really matter. It would have been tough for the Knights to get back in it. They needed 2 possessions in 10 seconds, and that's a shame. They lost Callahan, and that's what really eventually did the Knights in. When Callahan went out, the whole offensive flow was gone, and that was pretty much the ball game for Gannon.
That's right, exactly. It's been a 10-2 run since Callahan left the game 2 minutes ago for Morehouse. As we look over at the Gannon bench, lots of despair over there at this point. Guys pretty much know it's out of reach now.
Well,
it is.
I think Gannon absolutely has nothing to be ashamed of. Nobody in the world, especially around the Gannon community, expected Gannon to be in the Elite 8, and just getting here was a great accomplishment.
Freeman's shot. Time runs out. That's it, folks. The Gannon Knights finish up their season at 24-8. 75-69, our final score here. As the Knights finish up their season. Morehouse now moves on. They will meet Cal State Bakersfield tomorrow night in the semifinals here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Brian Duffy going over to get Coach Bob Duquette. They are now heading over to our broadcast position. He'll get a word with the Gannon coach. Other winners today, in case you missed it earlier, Kentucky Wesleyan winning in overtime over Southeast Missouri State. North Dakota, a winner over Jacksonville State. So those teams advance along now with Morehouse as they defeat Gannon 75-69 here in the quarterfinals in Springfield. Let's throw it now to Brian Duffy. He's got Coach Bob Duquette. Brian?
Coach, it's a tough one for you guys to take down 18, but your guys make a valiant comeback.